Hello and welcome to Blues View. I'm Paul Bradley and I'm joined on the phone now by Birmingham City correspondent Colin Tatham. Hi Colin.
Hello.
Well, we'll start off today by taking a quick look back at the defeat at St James's Park. What was your verdict on that game?
Pretty much another sort of strange one for an away performance. There's nothing in it. Things seem to be going okay for 35 minutes. Newcastle weren't really threatening Birmingham. Birmingham weren't really in trouble. And then the handball on the line by Liam Ridgewell, the penalty, Newcastle sort of changed everything. And from then on, 10 men, 1-0 down, they were really up against it. And I think the only saving grace, if there can be one from a defeat, was they didn't get biffed for a few more goals because, obviously the goal difference might end up being telling in the final analysis.
And what is it at the moment about Birmingham City and making life difficult for themselves? There's these sendings off which could be avoided, and there's obviously the ongoing injuries problem. They're not making life easy for themselves, are they?
No, absolutely. And as we've said before, because they're not a team that can really take the game to the opposition, they have to be so sure in the basics, which are basically defending and keeping their shape and concentration. And if that goes awry a little bit, which it has been doing, and there's been an ill discipline in terms of the sendings off, then it makes it all the more difficult for them. And this is what they're finding: they're not free scoring. They can't set themselves up to score a lot of goals. And I think even if Alex McLeish tried to do that, he'd be a bit wary because it would take away something else that they're good at. But that's something else that they have been good at. They are making errors. They're not just picking up at set pieces. And little things are sort of being magnified, and it's costing them. And also, they're not had the best of runs, the best of luck with referees, in the last couple of weeks. But ultimately, it's going to be down to them. They've still got a little bit of a cushion with the points gap, and they have to make that count this weekend.
Now, with Gardner and now Ridgewell and the suspensions looming, is McLeish going to have to juggle things around a little bit for the next game?
Yeah, my guess would be he would bring in Stuart Parnaby to play left back. He came in a few weeks back and did a very good job there. And with Gardner's suspension, Lee Bowyer will stay probably in central midfield, and John Beausejour will probably start on wide on the left. And without doubt, as he has done in the last three home games, it will be Jerome and Kevin Phillips up front. Birmingham have to win the game, and the team will be picked accordingly. The one that Alex McLeish thinks gives them the most chances of doing that, and hopefully that they might be able to wheel out Nicola Zigic at least to give them an option on the substitutes bench. But again, there is still some doubt over his full fitness.
Now, you said yourself the Fulham game is always going to be really the crunch game. That could be the decider. What's your feelings ahead of it, and kind of the mood in the camp at Birmingham City, and kind of maybe the belief they have going into that game as a home fixture?
It's a bit of an odd one because they've had 3 out of the last 4 games have been away, but the home games that recently that they had to win, really, Sunderland and Bolton, they did, and they put in performances which was effectively, they knew everything was on the line in those 2 games. They did everything they could to make sure that they got the result, and I think it'll be the same again. As I keep saying, Birmingham don't rattle up 2, 3, 4 goals, but they can when they put their minds to it, and it needs be. They can grind out the results, and I think it'll be the same on Sunday. They basically need this so badly. Fulham don't necessarily need it, and I think that will tell in the performance from first to last, and they will do everything they can to make sure that they get that result.
And just lastly, Tats, put this into a bit of context for us. Obviously, Birmingham City are playing on the Sunday. There's multiple scenarios in which they could be mentally before the game, depending on results on the Saturday.
Absolutely. As you say there, but as Wolves and Blackpool both play Saturday lunchtime, as do Blackburn, indeed. Now, if none of them get a result, then, almost by default, Birmingham could be safe with a point. But I think, their focus will be setting up preparation training to win the game regardless, and they will have to, imagine if you were the worst case scenario whereby all those 3 teams get results, so the pressure will be on them to deliver, and the irony as well, also on the Sunday, that I think this will probably be the first time that Birmingham will be cheering on their former owners and hoping that West Ham beat Wigan, because that would knock Wigan out of the equation, because West Ham, 6 points trailing Birmingham, have just got too much to do to catch them, I think.
OK, Colin, well, thanks for your thoughts on that today. We'll obviously be catching up and have more analysis from the weekend's football next week, and we'll be back with more Blues View next week.